Hi, I'm BJ Bales. This is Jeff Howard. We're happy to be on the Shakin' Hands podcast here with Jack. One disclaimer, I get migraines, so I wear these. I don't think I'm cool.
I sweat a lot. You're going to see that and be prepared for it. I'm okay. I'm not unhealthy. I'm just very, very warm.
All right, let's dive in.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Wild.
Oh, man. Yeah, they'll do anything.
It's Germans, dude.
Those Germans don't give a fuck. Most places in Europe, the TV, there's titties and dicks and
They don't
hair and nuts and all kinds of stuff.
They're used to
They're
it.
fucking pussies here, man. Sell so much more stuff if we could show dicks.
Why do you think that is?
Just because of the culture. It's a cultural thing.
Love the shot.
Yeah, that's why there's nude beaches in Europe and not here. It's just,
Feels exotic, too.
You know, yeah.
That's a guess.
What are the rules on TV? Like,
You can show full frontal and stuff.
you can show pretty much anything. It just has to be the right network, the right
But you can show ass, but you
rating.
can't show asshole. You know, like things like that.
really, you can show full frontal on TV?
Oh, yeah.
You can
McBride
show
and them
full
do
dick
it all
and
the
bush.
time.
They had a dick in every single episode of Gemstones their last season. Every a full frontal dick.
Walter Goggins had his...
Hold on, what? On just
Walter
like
Goggins.
regular TV
He was
channels?
water skiing.
Well,
Oh,
this
it
is
was
HBO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, the big five, like over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh, dude.
This is
Yeah, I
not
don't think
like,
can
you
show
know,
anything.
TNT.
Yeah.
They could probably show some dicks on TNT these days. I don't know. TNT 's-
Maybe. But the big five, like over the air, I don't think you can do anything.
No, you can't do shit.
Because they survive on
It's
ads.
streamers. Streamers, it's pretty much anyone's game on a streamer other than X-rated stuff. You can't show like a dick going into someone, but they can be in proximity to each other.
But you can face fuck someone.
You can face fuck
I
someone.
think that's what it is. Let me think about it. I'm right.
Are you from South Carolina too?
No, man, I'm from Kansas City.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up there, lived in LA for a bit, and then
How'd you guys link up?
LA, man, we met on the set of, We met on Craigslist free furniture.
Yeah,
I was there to pick up a mattress, left with a buddy. We met on the set of indie movies.
Okay.
Yeah, like some shitty indie movie. I'm not going to tell you the name because I don't want you to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you the name either. I when I first got there, you self-submit for everything until you get your agency or whatever. I did this self-submitted for this play that was downtown or in Hollywood, in the heart of Hollywood, super small, like 30, 40 seat. No one ever came, but I met a guy who was in the cast, and then a year later, he asked me to be in a movie that he co-wrote with a buddy that BJ was in. And that's where I met BJ, was on the set of
Those indies.
that indie movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to tell you the names. I don't want anyone to...
I don't want anyone renting it, and
But
we probably
hold on,
couldn't even
hold on.
find it anyway.
Remember last podcast we talked about this, and we're like, what if he sees us say that about his movie?
I don't care.
Listen,
I don't know what to say.
You learn a lot on indie movies, but the cast was cool, man. I was 23, 24. I don't know how old you were, but I mean, we're with Burt Reynolds and Chevy Chase and Michael Madsen and Ellen Albertini Dow, who's the little old lady from The Wedding Singer, and
It was a true indie, though.
you know, it was cool,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it was like, whoa, this is legit.
Was that your
Vinnie
first
Jones?
gig? Both your guys' first gig, or?
No,
We were doing
I've been doing it for a
commercials back
while,
in the day,
yeah.
man. Like prior to that, I had like a Sony. We're recording, aren't we?
Yeah.
I didn't even know we started.
That's one of the tricks.
Is that what it is?
yeah,
Okay.
one of the tricks.
I saw.
All right, right on.
Oh, I saw him posture
Good
up
trick,
and start
that's
asking
one.
questions.
All right, Jack
Where you
1,
from?
BJ 0. What was the question? Oh, commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we both started. I mean, that's how you did start back in the day, right? You would just do commercial auditions. They paid good money, but they're humiliating, right? And then our buddies end up writing a script, and that's how we met.
Why are commercials humiliating?
I don't know. Like, I don't think you study to go be on a McDonald's commercial or just light up on camera eating
It's not
applesauce.
humiliating. It's just it's the
degrading.
ultimate dues payer. Like, it's not what we all dream of doing when we dream of being an actor. My first commercial, or one of them, was dancing Easter egg for Food Lion when I was like 16 years old, 17 years old. And I had to wear full body tights, and they lowered a giant titanium egg onto me where only my hands and arms stuck out. And I'm dancing in the background. $3,000 out the door, and I got to try to keep the egg for the pledge class that I was. So I was
Did you
17.
book that gig and you're like, finally?
It was the fucking best. Dude.
Yeah.
It was so much money at the time. I was in college. I was a freshman at USC. But yeah, I don't dream of doing that. You know, I wanted. You know, we all want to do bigger things.
Yeah.
So it feels like a job. And some are better than others, man. Some commercials are fun and it's cool. And
I think I was pretty lucky on some commercials, man. But that is where you start, right? Like you don't.
Yeah, so give me that journey in, like, into the game.
I mean, back when this is early 2000s, man, like when I got there, but it was you printed off physical headshots and then you had no resume. So that was a blank piece of paper. And then you would staple those and you would mail them to agencies hoping to get a commercial agent. And that was the path then, though. Like there was no other way to get an agent. You started with commercials. And luckily, like Jeff and I were very fortunate to like book campaigns at times over and over.
What do you mean campaigns?
So like I had a Sony commercial, but they ran 13. I was like the spokesperson of it. So when you book a campaign, man, you think that money is going to last forever. And then you buy a bunch
You're
of shit
also
and then you're broke.
young.
You know? Yeah.
So it does feel like
It felt
a
like
lot of
NBA money at a young age. It did.
Signing bonuses.
Yeah, man.
I was doing theater here in high school, but also at Theater 99 when I was in high school. So I would leave theater and then go downtown and do a theater with Greg Tavares, who was just starting Theater 99 at the time. I learned improv with Greg and Brandy and came up with them. And then I booked One Tree Hill before I went to LA. Like I had some things, a decent resume before I went out there.
In fact, let's cut to Jeff's reel. Real quick.
You have,
Let's watch all
can we
7
watch
minutes of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But like, I was lucky in the fact that I got some momentum before I made the big move and packed my shit up and drove to LA. But even then, you get smacked in the fucking dick so fast of how hard it is and how much they don't tell you about that your life, that your job, you are the business. You are the business that you started. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter that you're the best actor that came from wherever the fuck you came from, Juilliard or a small school or a small state. It doesn't matter. You got to know how to walk into a room and talk to people and communicate and network. And luckily, we both have that kind of natural ability to do that. And I think that's what probably got us further along than anything, right?
I mean, I think your street smarts are good. You could say that about any business, right?
Right,
Like, I
for
feel like
sure.
80% of anything you do is communicating with people. You know,
If not more.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in the entertainment business, you kind of look at it like it's just like high school for adults. You know,
It is, man.
It's just high school, and I realize like, oh hell yeah, put some of that.
I know you. I know you want a little bit.
Nobody really knows what they're doing. There's no map to it. Like, are you going to be a doctor? There's a map, like all that business. You can kind of navigate from other people's. You didn't give me shit. Okay,
water.
okay,
It's
thank
like
you.
Bugs fucking.
So you do like your big weapon is meeting people and talking to folks, and pretty much anything I've ever gotten was that. It was just meeting folks, man. And then I worked at the Comedy Store. Literally the day I got to LA, Sunset Boulevard, I walked to the Comedy Store from my apartment and just hung out. And it's a cross section of mutants and weirdos there, but I knew that was the place to kind of meet who was up and coming.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
put yourself in situations. That's all
Be
this
in
game
proximity.
is to put yourself in the situation by saying yes, going out, doing the thing, and committing to that lifestyle. And that's why you see people tap out early, because it is you have to keep up. You know, even if you stop, someone's going to take your spot, and it's that times a million when you're in a bigger market like LA or New York or or Atlanta probably, but you feel it in LA because it's all around you, and you just gotta fucking stay on the grind, man, constantly. I mean, auditions are gonna come. Those come. That's, you know, if you're even decent at what you do, you can figure out ways to get auditions. It's the other stuff, the intangible stuff that you can't teach someone. There's no right way to do it. There's no handbook to say, if you do that, you're going to be an actor. You just put yourself in position, and then something is going to happen. You're going to meet somebody. I said yes to that shit theater doing reenactments of SNL sketches.
No way.
That's what it was. And no one came. But it was that guy, Tim, who I fucking hated day one because he was really funny. And then we turned out to be really
thought he
good
was better
friends.
than you?
Thought he was better than
Yeah.
me. And then we ended up being friends. And then a year later, because of that, he and then blah, blah, blah. Now I've been writing with him but when I met him, I'm like, I knew this is the sharpest dude that I've ever met, straight up in
You
comedy.
gotta meet more folks.
But when I met,
Not getting yourself out there.
yeah, but no, I've been around a lot of cool people, man, like really, really smart comedians and actors, but he's just so sharp. And I was like, I'm going to work with that guy And then a few years later,
But we sure did, like we got together and this is the thing, like whether you're going to be an actor, and maybe this is true in like if you're pursuing business or whatever it might be, but find yourself a like-minded ride or die that like is down like you're down. Because going through you're going to get punched in the gut, right? We all, over and over and over. The word no stops meaning anything. But if you get punched in the gut with somebody else, and you guys get to process it together and laugh. I mean, hanging with comedians, it's a pretty good time, right? But you get to go through it together, and we pretty much learned everything along the way.
And
together.
easier said than done. It's not. I worked with other people. You worked with other people.
That was
as
the
far
point.
as-
Yeah, it's hard.
So you kind of have to like figure out who that person is, and we lucked out in that. We see the world the exact same way in a lot of ways. We see comedy the same way, but we could
also
not be
challenge each
more
other.
different people.
Yeah.
I'm married. I have 2 kids. I've been married for, I don't know, like fucking 13, 14 years
I'm
now.
single. I fuck 24/7, 365. Okay, they're very different guys. Right?
Yeah. So like, our lives naturally just couldn't be more different. But it's good, right? Like you said, he challenges me and I challenge him in different ways to think in different ways, and then when you would apply that to what you're writing, and then character building, all that kind of stuff, it's just
Anything you're doing.
Yeah.
Like even when we started producing, we were producing at such a low level, but that's its own ecosystem and world that comes with its curveballs and shady figures. But going through it alone would be defeating.
Yeah.
And so if you find a friend, and I would say to anybody, be picky who your ride or die is. Like really, like see if this is a flow, because this is like a second marriage for him.
It is.
And just be picky who you're doing it with.
Yeah.
And you'll start to see people will fall off because you'll see what they say and then what they do about it. And if you're doing it daily, it just things unfold, man.
Yeah.
And just don't lose the enthusiasm for it.
Did you guys always know you wanted to be actors
Yep. That's all I ever wanted to do, man.
from day like as a
I
child?
was in front of the camera as a kid, and just fucking off and goofing off. I know you were too, filming stuff. I knew I wanted to be. I love making people laugh. I knew that was going to be part of the equation, no matter what I did. And then obviously acting and like performing, I was like, okay, that could be something. Now, did I know I was going to be an actor? Probably not until high school when I started doing improv at Theater 99 and actually learning.
What's Theater 99
Theater 99 is the big improv
here in Charleston?
in Charleston. Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah, it's one of the main improv.
When did
places.
a question? I shouldn't be asking questions, but I got a question.
go
for that.
ahead.
When did your light bulb go off that you said, I think I'm somewhat good at this? Like,
It
what
was
the
my
confidence
first.
hit?
It was my play.
This
the
makes
first
my
play.
job easy. You guys just keep
Oh, sorry.
riffing.
Yeah, I just never asked him that.
No,
You know,
great.
known the guy a long time.
It was
Great.
doing a play, like theater, and I'm in high school when Miss Winkles, shout out to Ellen Winkles,
Yeah.
gave me a lead in a play. It was like, oh shit, that instant laugh of someone right in front of me, of an audience, of like, wow, like that rush was like just so intense that I'm like, this is it, man.
Since then, it's like without it, you're nothing.
I'm a piece of shit, human being without it. No, man, it was theater. I love theater. I want to go back to theater at some point. I want to do Broadway at some point. I haven't done theater in a really long time, but I do love that instant, response of someone right in front of you.
Something about it.
But
Live stuff. Yeah.
yeah, man, I've known for a long time.
And yeah, you're right. I wanted to be an actor from jump, but it was watching Jim Carrey. Obviously, when I grew up, Ace Ventura, The Mask, all that stuff.
And I was a Chris Farley guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
I didn't-
physical comedy's next level, bro.
I didn't want to go to college, actually. I wanted to go to LA right after high school. My dad said give college 2 years, and if you like it, you can stay. If you don't, then you can go to LA. So I auditioned for NYU at Tisch. I auditioned for Emerson at Boston. But I didn't get in academically. They were 2 separate decisions at the time. So I ended up going to USC, fucking loved it. Stayed 4.5 years because I dropped out for 6 months to do a movie in New Orleans. Came back, finished my degree, drove to LA, and I've been there since 2006.
What was the movie in New Orleans?
It was the Madams Family. It was the true story about the Canal Street brothel. And during 9/11, there was a big story happening adjacent to that. about a madam that had a black book with a lot of very high level people in it that were going to this brothel in New Orleans. It's a true story.
The first Epstein files.
Yeah, but it was overshadowed by 9/11, so no one really paid attention to that story. I played the head FBI agent, and I was 21 playing a 35-year-old, no idea what I was doing. I was like out of my element for sure. I'm opposite Ellen Burstyn, who's like a huge actor, and she wasn't nice to me.
Now you're 41, play 50.
Yeah.
When you say she wasn't nice to you, what's that?
She was just like tired and wanted to go home and told me not to fuck up my lines. I'm like, nice to meet you as well.
How'd you get that gig in the first place?
Auditioning. I had one round. So I would skip Shakespeare class and drive to Wilmington and Savannah and these others in Charlotte and audition during college and book. And this one I had to fly to New Orleans and for a callback and audition there. And then I booked it and that was that.
What were you surprised by getting on set, like being around like, celebrities and...
I was surprised by the petty cash you got daily. Like that was dope. Remember, I was a college kid. I was there for months, so they were giving me $60 a day.
That's great.
A couple of 20s every day when I wasn't shooting and when I was shooting. And I lived right across the street from the casino. I was at the Embassy Suites, and Harris Casino was right. And I just turned 21. So every day I would go across the street and lose my money, and that was like I don't know, that was just really cool that they gave actors money to like live off of while you were living there. But I mean, being on set, every set is different, man. I mean, like
being on set rules.
They're cool sets, and then there's some,
Yeah, give me some behind the scenes. Like, what's it like?
Man, it's like the set. It depends on the project, right? Like so, but being on set for your first time is like everything you ever thought it would be. Like you've made it in your head, but it turned out it was just like a Burger King Whopper commercial. But like you're there, right? So you kind of achieved, and I believe in stacking little wins, but you've arrived, right? And then as it goes further, like let's just, Jeff and I jumped into like booking co-stars on random shows, and then guest stars, which you'd work 2 or 3 episodes. But just
So what does that mean? You're booking co-stars?
Sorry, so like a co-star, you'd have, you could be the bellboy or the waiter that comes through. You want
it's
cheese
more
with
than
that,
an extra, but less than someone who's like a big role.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then a guest star would be a slightly larger role, and you could always get like a recurring guest star, which may be the span of 2 or 3 or 4 or more episodes. But the hope is to always level up as a series regular on television, so where you're part of the main cast. But being on a set, it's intimidating and it's exciting at the same time. But the more you're on, the more comfortable you get with them. I was lucky enough to do a pilot with Christopher Lloyd and John Leguizamo, and just learning what those dudes have been through. Christopher Lloyd, I mean, it's Doc Brown, just what those guys have been through, the stories they tell, and then,
Like what?
Like, don't be a hero on set. It's exhausting. That's what people don't think about. Like, how tiring it is to make television or film day after day after day. Because after you go home, you're going over the lines for the next day. And it's
and there's hours and hours of doing nothing.
So
and then you got to
those,
stand up and start doing.
And
you got to turn it on and then turn it off and then
so
turn it on.
you can get tired waiting, but like when you said don't be a hero, it is nice I believe in introducing myself to everybody. There's a lot of people, but like I introduce myself once and then I try to keep to myself. When he said don't be a hero, it's like you don't have to talk to everybody all the time because it will zap you, and then all of a sudden you're zapped and it's your turn to go to do your coverage.
Yeah, you gotta take that energy, man.
So, I look at people that are at the top of their game, whether, male or female, actress, doesn't matter. But like these people that are at the top of the A-list making movie after movie, it's the craziest energy juggle ever.
Dude, we just did it, and we won't fast forward, to this too far just yet. But the movie that we just did last year where we wrote it, we star in it, and we produced it, it's crazy, bro. And then we talked about like McBride, who we partnered with their company on the movie.
Yeah.
Talk about him, who also directs on top of that. Like,
but he's a different beast.
I just can't imagine wearing all those hats and juggling $100 million budget and making sure that everything is just going right. But at the same time, I would want to wear all the hats because it's if it's our project, you want it done the way that you envision it. But then
Yeah,
it's a
Ron Perlman told us, be vicious with your vision.
Yeah.
Like, he's all about that. Every step of the way. He was a great mentor. He was in our movie recently.
Yeah, he's
And
cool, man.
He's been an awesome mentor as far as like, don't let go of your creative vision. Because once we always talk about this, but like when we talked about this on the way over here, but Jeff and I are in the car, and he's like, hey, remember those days we were in your studio apartment in LA and we were just working, we were writing, we were acting, and we had no prospects. We were just doing it.
Not getting paid.
No, there was
nothing,
no money to
Yeah,
it.
there was no company yet.
Yeah,
we were
and
just
then
grinding.
Flash forward when creativity eventually meets commerce. And that's when you see what you're made of.
Well, the fun can get sucked out so fucking fast, and then you're like, "What do we?" The last thing we get to do these days is the first thing that we love, which is getting in front of the camera.
Actors.
So we're actors first. We're writers by necessity, and then we became obsessed. Necessity because we wanted another way into the business, and then we fell in love with writing, and then producers started our company 10 years ago. And then, learned that whole game. And producing is just like the ultimate chess game. It's just chess, man.
How so?
It's the ultimate, who do you know? How do you know them?
Yeah.
Can you make this call? Can you put that together? Can you pivot here? Can you pivot there?
There's also chess on your own team.
And then there's chess within,
because other people have motives that are different than yours as a creative.
Political.
Yeah.
And that's
one guy's making a decision because it's money, even though that ruins creativity. I'm making a creative decision and it might ruin his money.
And that's on a
Too bad.
project.
Yeah,
That's on the
during.
project. If you zoom out and there's no project and you're just talking about let's find something to produce, whether it's our own product or we're producing someone else's product, that whole game of like trying to outsource that and bring that in, which is what we're doing here. I moved here and he's back and forth from KC still, but our company is here to start making more movies in the state.
Want to bring more to
Yeah, so tell us about that project that you guys have got now.
Yeah, well, it's currently called Suburban Psycho. It was first called My Best Friend is a Serial Killer. Right now it's called Suburban Psycho, and we're still playing with other titles. But it's a dark comedy, and it's about a group of friends, 3 friends that grow up in Charleston, and they are best friends, and 2 of them grow up, me and BJ's character, to be kind of the same dudes as they always were. And the third one grew up to be like
he's the man,
most charming guy in the city, the news anchor,
local celeb,
hot as fuck,
looking.
great, wealthy family. And he's been killing people for 30 years. And we figure that out. And then the movie is about us proving that our boy is not a serial killer.
So we have to go down a reluctant path to see if our buddy's a serial killer.
So it's the Burbs, Pineapple Express type of vibes.
But at the end of the day, it's a straight up R-rated buddy comedy.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to keep making.
And it was cool, man. It was our first big swing of the bat as a production company. It was a really amazing budget for 2 guys.
It was.
That don't exactly have that track record of sales yet. We've been actors our whole lives, but
yeah, we were blessed to do that.
yeah, I mean, truly, man, it was
a lot.
Our investor and business partner, Jeffrey Zucker.
Hashtag Jeffrey Zucker.
Yeah, he put it all on the line and said, "Fuck it, let's do it," because we had gotten over the 10 years all in the industry's eyes, we were getting W's, slowly working our way up. But on the outside, it looked like we were just kind of idle, but we were working so much.
Yeah, like nothing was hitting the IMDb's, so people would be like, these guys haven't worked in forever.
But the doors...
But we were silently grinding to build whatever it is we were building.
And that short you watched was our skeleton key. That opened every door
It did.
in Hollywood. We pitched every single major streamer at the time. Everyone loved it. They couldn't get past the word porn because mainly it was the Me Too movement, and it was just shit timing.
Poorly timed.
To be pitching an R-rated porn comedy during the Me Too movement. Even though we prop women up and
that was right on the heels after Weinstein.
But yeah, it wasn't even. It was like it still is. It's smart. It's not low hanging stupid shit. Either way, people really responded to that. So then we ended up selling that to a company that folded weeks later, and lost that deal
Oh man.
after we threw a really cool party with all the
But you get
executives.
used to the bottom falling out of things over time, so you just don't personalize it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously sucks every single time.
Yeah, you still cry.
The word, oh yeah, but
You
grown
cry.
men cry.
You
Not,
cry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I cry.
but it doesn't sting as much as it did, and that's something I took from all of this too. Is like when I was younger, man, I was applying so much meaning to everything. Just like every no had meaning. This person's there. Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit.
But it doesn't have any meaning. I learned it's just business. Like people aren't even thinking about what
And it's
you're
just
doing.
feedback, like you.
Man, yeah.
It's
a
your
good way to
job
switch
is
it.
to go
Yeah.
as an actor, at least. Your job is to literally go in there, whatever you prepared for the character you give them, and then you walk out, and hopefully you're happy with that, and that's the job. You have no control over what they are thinking and wanting and doing. It's your job to persuade them that you're the best fit for the character that you're auditioning for. That's just acting. Writing and producing, they're all different worlds, man, and they don't even talk to each other.
That's
We
a big
were
problem.
pitching TV for the first 4 or 5 years of our production company, and then when we shifted over to film, no one in the same companies, the Netflixes and all these places, they hadn't heard of our projects because they don't talk to each other. They're in the same fucking building,
Yeah,
but
TV and
different departments.
movies
So
don't
our shorts still like held up, and we could, use those to kind of move around. And
So how did the idea for this movie come to be, and then how did you guys bring it to fruition?
Suburban Psycho?
Yeah.
Oh man. So Jeff, this was summer of 25. We were both 24. We were both unemployed and bored one summer, like in between gigs. And we knew we wanted to write a movie together, but we didn't know it was getting funded. We had no clue. It's like, let's just write a movie this summer. And I wanted to do something with a criminal element, and Jeff wanted to do something that revolved around like the mundane suburbs. And we're like, all right, well, let's do crime in the suburbs. And so that's when we started beating this movie out and trying to figure out what this story was. And I think we wrote it fairly quickly.
we did, because we challenged ourselves to write it in a different way than how we normally
free-wrote
do
it
Yeah,
instead of-
we're overthinkers, and we study the rules in order to break them. But if you know all the rules, then you can afford to.
What are the rules?
I mean, it's a loaded
Like
question,
structure?
but
Oh, man.
yeah, like the
That's a
rules
whole
of
episode.
writing.
Yeah.
Like there's certain structural elements that you want to stay aligned with, so you know at a fundamental level that your story is sound. Someone watching subconsciously knows the rhythm because
Audiences
it's
know
written
the
in a
rhythm
certain pace.
when it works, and they know when it doesn't. They just don't know why it
So
does
we
or
figured
doesn't
out
work.
why.
So if I told you how to,
Yeah, give me the tidbits.
if I told you the structure of a movie and how to write a movie, I'd ruin the magic of movies. Like, because I can't watch. I know Jeff too. I can't watch a movie anymore without pausing to see where they hit this mark, where they hit that mark. How did they turn into Act Two?
But also, the sign of a good movie is not pausing, and if it's
camouflaged.
good writing and it's camoed in a way that you don't see the matrix of the structure, then you're watching someone who made a really good movie. But if you see that act break or that whatever, that moment or that line that's like so obvious that they're stating the theme in the first, like there's just so many little things. I'm like, okay, they were obviously reading the book of how to write a movie and just wrote down the line, a nice linear story. BJ and I learned the linear way to write a movie, and now we go like this.
We veer in and out of it.
But we make sure our spine is still there. That
Now we have plenty to learn, like as writers, but
Always,
that's
man.
something that I love about Jeff, man. Is like we're always kind of learning together. But like even when like I'll be exhausted and Jeff will like, let's get 1 hour in. Like The Power of the Hour with Jeff Howard. That's
Hour,
your
that's
your
1 hour,
book, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, even in that 1 hour, and so I remember us when we were aspiring writers, we were writing and sharing with people, and they said these are funny. They're just a collection of scenes. Like it doesn't. So we didn't have the story right. And then I'll never forget when we studied structure and we learned it. It's like a light bulb.
Yeah, it was like holy
where do you go to
shit.
find, like, where's the knowledge base for
there's
it?
all
We just
kinds of
practiced online.
different-
We
Save the Cat is still
articles.
the book. Save the Cat is still like
It's a good place to start.
good place to start.
Oh yeah.
There's lots of school of thoughts of how to write, and a lot of our knowledge of writing came from actually reading scripts because we're actors first, and you read enough scripts, you start to see
the patterns.
Patterns. We started talking to. We had some people mentor us, like Jillian Bell is an actress. She was giving us
Assassin,
Ike
all those
Barinholtz, Nat Faxon. These guys, they gave us some really good advice, and
And they were already established writers and
Yeah.
successes at the time.
Well,
so
Nat
for
won
them
the
to
Oscar.
even,
Nat
yeah.
won. Nat and Jim Rest won for best writing. Or
But
whatever.
yeah, if you ever want to learn how to write a movie, I agree with Save the Cat. Get the basic understanding and then go watch any Pixar movie because they
Pixar's,
hit
yeah.
the culminations because it's for kids. They hit that subconscious culmination every
Why you
single
feel
time.
good when you watch it because there's a formula to it, and
So what's that baseline formula? Like, there's probably you got to get a hook in the beginning. I
mean,
mean, some
everything from
foreshadowing.
music swells to how you're seeing it. It's like it's so nuanced, man.
But at a
it's hard to
baseline,
pinpoint.
like we work, some people will do their 5-act structure, 8-act, whatever, like that just chops it up into sections. But we operate on 3 acts,
Yeah.
you know? And so and we operate inside of sequences. So like, obviously the opening of your movie, you want to establish the theme and you want to show the location that you're at. And then you want to cruise into meeting your characters. And then that's status quo. And then what breaks the status quo? What, like the inciting incident? You know, whatever that is, it turns that person's world upside down. Then that person debates it for a second, and then they choose the mission, and that's the break into Act 2. That's the promise of the premise. You know, this is the audience finally aligning with the character, saying, "I want to watch this person go on that journey." That's when the movie really starts. And your Act 2 is just a series of ups and downs for the character. Learn a little bit along the way. 3rd act hits, and then obviously you have your resolution of the movie.
But then
that's like the simplest way.
You
to,
can
like,
break it down into 8 mini movies sequences.
That's the sequence.
So in a 3-act structure, let's say you have Act 1. There's 2 sequences in Act 1. So Act 1 is sequence 1, sequence 2. Then you have Act 2, which is chunkier. You have 4 sequences.
What are those sequences?
Those are
What does that mean?
little mini movies, a beginning, middle,
Think of
and
it
end.
like a mini movie.
Think
Could
of
you
it-
watch them independently?
Yes.
You could
Theoretically.
but
Theoretically.
you would lose context because
Right.
each scene has to build. Each sequence has to build on the one before it.
Gotcha.
So
But-
think of it in terms of pages, right? 15 pages per sequence. So you have 5 pages for the beginning, 5 pages for the middle, 5 pages for the end. By the time you get to that end, you should end on a cliffhanger that will now marry to the next sequence naturally. So if you wanted to just focus on any given sequence and zoom in, and you'll start seeing holes and gaps in your story because of the way that you've structured it. You're like, oh, we're missing something here. And Act 2, sequence 2C, we know there's something in our story that's not there right now. We need to go back and figure it out.
I think sequencing is a good thing. Were you going to say something interesting?
No, it's just really cool, man. It's like,
It's eye-opening because sequencing ends up, if any person's trying to say, I want to learn how to write, study the sequencing method of things because it breaks, a 90-page script is overwhelming to think about getting right. But if you break it up as it's a total of 8 sequences, that's portioning out bite-sized chunks that you can build.
making it more manageable to write.
Palatable,
Yeah, especially when you're by yourself and you're taking on something like that. It's hard, man. Writing's fucking hard.
Yeah, and then all the way through.
How do you articulate that to an investor? Because they're not going to read 90 pages.
You don't. You show them.
Yeah, power of the sizzle.
The power
Yeah,
of the
film
visual.
it.
We knew that with what we wrote with the Gone Soft, we can say the name of it.
Sure.
Where the main character comes in his own face on page 2.
Yeah, boy.
No one's going to give us any money to go make that. Luckily, we found an investor who I grew up with here and a good friend who he saw me on Workaholics. I did a guest star on Workaholics. We connected after years, comes to find out that he loves R-rated humor. He meets with BJ and we formed this company and he's believed in us since. And he was the one that was like, I'll show them how this could actually work. And
Paid for it.
he paid for it, yeah.
But we lucked out with that with Jeffrey Zucker because he's not just a financier. Like he's also a creative. Like he's a cinephile.
Yeah.
So like that's rare.
What's his background?
I mean, real estate. The guy's a serial investor. So like he just
Real estate, cannabis
never
industry, restaurant. He owned a restaurant in Chicago.
How'd you get linked up with him?
I grew up with him here.
Oh, okay,
Our families are close. He's my son's godparent.
Okay, sick.
Godparents.
I challenge you to find many financiers that are also creatives.
Or also
it's
just
very-
like
Yeah.
families in general. I don't know if you know the Zucker family in Charleston, but their whole family, they're all just incredible people. Anita, Jonathan Zucker, Andrea is his sister, and Jerry Zucker was his father who passed from brain cancer, but he was like the guy here.
He was the man.
He was the man.
Yeah.
His trajectory was like Elon Musk level. He has over like 300 patents, and he owns Intertech. I don't know. He started the Intertech group, and just like the most incredible human being, philanthropist, just an amazing person, and that trickled down to Jeffrey for sure. He's the youngest of the kids.
He got the Hollywood
and he's just
bug.
a good dude. He's a good dude that loves creative and loves the arts, and it believes in what we're doing, and has given us this chance to, make movies, man.
Yeah, and you had given me like a little bit of a tidbit. So besides the movie, you guys are doing like a production company, right? Is that before the movie, or that's come from the movie?
We started the production company 10 years ago or so and honestly, we did it out of, again, everything we do is out of necessity, I think. But we did that because we kept auditioning, and then we wouldn't book, or you would, but then auditions just started drying up. And we kind of saw it for what it was. It's like, okay, well, we can keep being waiter number 1 and number 2, or X, Y, and Z, or we can kind of put our own thing together.
And also,
That's what it was.
We were both collectively stubborn in that we did not want to do the YouTube route. YouTube popped off. I got there in 2006. That's kind of when it started, Facebook and those things. But I think it was 2008 that YouTube started becoming a platform for creators in that way. And I just never wanted to do it, man. I never really wanted to do it. And then that's what we had in common. We both didn't want to give our content and just blow it all over the place and hope that one sticks. We're, for lack of a,
We holstered all the jokes.
yeah,
and the stuff.
so
like,
we're sitting on mounds and mounds of stuff.
What, we do a fucking YouTuber?
Yeah, someone said that to us.
Yeah.
But like, we're just stubborn. We're like, we worked really hard not to have the prefix YouTuber Jeff Howard, YouTuber BJ Bales, for better or for worse. There's a positive
Yeah, say what you want
and a
about
negative.
that.
Yeah, people make great living doing it. You can make a great living, but it depends on
lot
what
of
you
money,
want to do. And we want to be mainstream actors, and taking that leap from social media to mainstream is still really, really tough to do. Even if you have the followers, it's still tough. So it was either that, go be a YouTuber and fart at people, or try to raise money and make a real movie. And I mean, that's what someone said to us, like, go make fart videos, man. You guys
Yeah.
we're like,
You see a lot of musicians taking that route now these days too, and like the power of not signing with a label. But
yeah, man.
man.
doing your own
Nowadays,
stuff.
the game is so different for sure, man.
How has it changed from when you guys first got into the game to now, and like the opportunities within the industry?
Man, it's crazy because there is more, you have more options. Like the gatekeeper was, in some ways still is, but the gatekeeper was the gatekeeper that started
Is that like
at
the guild or whatever?
Well, no, I mean, like, as an actor, let's say, like, the first thing you have to do is find that gatekeeper to getting an agent. And then once you get the audition, that gatekeeper is now the casting director, that you have to get called into their room and make it to the next level to go for a callback, and then to the producers. So it's filled with gatekeepers. Industry now, man, like, you don't need it to make a splash, to make your projects. When Jeff and I started, you couldn't just go buy 2 cameras. Like, it would cost you $200,000, like, or whatever it was. Just it was preventative. But now you can make whatever you want. You can do it on an iPhone if you want to.
Yeah.
So the path has changed. It's not just one door. You can go in the back door. And I think that's what's great about it now. That's the whole point of the production company.
I mean, it's not a novel idea, man. Like, it's always been there that
It's just more
you can
doable.
go online and prove your brand, or prove whatever your thing is, and then say, hey, look at this and look at these followers, and then they scoop you up and give you your own show or platform or whatever it is. It's still the same
happens.
thing for sure. It's just the way that we're doing it with, okay, we have a movie coming out in the fall. We should jump in the game now. Now's the time to start, pushing our brand out there, and whether it's a podcast or shorts or sketches or whatever it may be, but in a strategic, calculated way.
This is the part where we become YouTubers.
Yeah, to build into
This
the
is the
movie.
big reveal.
Yeah, got them good. We flip-flopped them.
Yeah, we sure got them, huh? Yeah, This is what we tell ourselves to,
Yeah.
If you were going to
through
start again today, and you were like, starting from zero, like what path would you take?
Depends on what you want to do.
That's true. Like,
You want to be a social media influencer? I got a path for you. If you want to be
A movie actor.
a movie actor, then I think you use social media as a tool, and you do it in a smart way. You don't, but you have to do the other things that people tend to.
What's the smart way on social media, and then what are those other things?
It's showing your brand, right? If you want to be a dramatic actor,
and your brand being yourself.
your brand,
Yeah, whatever your shtick is or whatever you think
Your
is
bread and
unique
butter.
about you.
Yeah.
But I think there's a fine line because I didn't grow up in the world of like some people put their auditions online, and personally, I think that's a bit of a mistake. I think that's work that should be done in the shadows, and then you just kind of figure all that out. But if you're going to put something up, make it a good representation of what you're doing, because so many people just put up whatever, and it lives forever.
But you know, in fairness, you kind of have to do that if you want to stay in anyone's, to get in that algorithm. You have to keep feeding it, right? So that's the challenging part. Yeah, we have friends that are very successful and doing comedy on TikTok and Instagram, but they can't get out of the machine. Because if you stop, then your income stops, and then you fall out of line, and you're not on that For You page anymore, and then the shit can blow up. So he's having trouble getting out of it and into mainstream auditions and acting. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's like pick your poison. But if you want to be again in movies and TV, and you're just starting today, the number one thing I would say is get into an improv class. That's number one. You're in the position to meet people. Whether you're in drama or a comedy, you're learning how to take direction. You're learning how to think on your feet. You need to have those things when you go to any set, and you're going to immediately meet people that are doing it. More than likely, more people are doing improv classes than they are at some random studio and trying to matriculate through a studio and be the best of that acting studio.
Just be part of the community.
Yeah, meet the community.
That's important.
Yeah.
Because I remember working at the Comedy Store. I was part of that ecosystem for a while. And at the time, like Mark Maron says, the Comedy Store is built directly over a portal to hell. And it was the weirdest job I've ever had. But I made the most interesting contacts and had the most informative time as an artist, like seeing what these other people are doing, going through, how they're doing it day in, day out. But if you're part of the community, it's automatic that this guy over here, this gal over here has also got a project they're working on.
Yeah.
And they'll climb here and you'll climb here. And if you're in that community, then you're going to start working on these projects and kind of climb up together.
Things just happen.
You sit on the couch.
Why did he say it was built over a portal to hell?
The Comedy Store is the seediest, weirdest place ever, man.
How so?
In a good way. Oh, man. I mean, like, it just has such crazy history. Apparently, the basement's haunted. And that's where Sam Kinison pulled out a revolver and shot at everybody right through the Comedy Store sign. Bullet hole's still there.
Wow.
It was all, when I was there, it was lawlessness. Like anything went. It's like the second you got off of Sunset Boulevard and pulled into that parking lot of the Comedy Store, it was its own universe, dude. Just dark with red lights. There's 3 different stages, all different sizes. And
I've been there. The energy is kind of heavy there.
it's weird,
Not
man.
for me. I was
It's
waiting
weird.
tables. Waiting tables, man.
But I enjoyed that. I don't know what it was, man. It was just like some sort of raw possibility there.
There is something in
And
the
devil
air
energy.
that's really, really cool.
It's
for
not
sure.
cool.
I was down the street at Groundlings, so I was flexing that muscle and trying to learn improv, and went through the Groundlings a little bit, and then UCB, which is another improv place out there. Got a little bit of that, and that's kind of where I cut my teeth as far as like at next level education beyond college and whatever acting classes I had prior to that. But really, man, I mean, so much of it is just doing it, which is the irony, right? It's getting in front of a camera as much as you can, which is what YouTube is. Again, there's pros and cons to doing it. And one of the pros is you're constantly watching tape of yourself and seeing the choices you made, whether it's, but
rough.
I mean, you learn, you learn quicker by studying the shit that watching yourself fucking sucks though.
But getting
So
uncomfortable
hard.
each step of the way, I think if you can kind of embrace the uncomfortable part of it and not apply so much meaning every step of the way, no matter what you're building, like knowing there's going to be some bullshit soon, because there will be. But I think that just like kind of sitting in that uncomfortability and plucking what you can from it is the best way I've ever grown. Because I think good things happen on the heels of something shitty, So let's say you had a no from an audition or whatever. Well, you can bitch about it and you can go drink, or you can be like, all right, well, let's figure out what character I can work on tonight, or what monologue can I practice. You do it in the shame of your own bedroom, but you keep doing it over and over and over, and it seems inconsequential, but then it just stacks. And I've noticed times when I've stepped away from it and gone back, how rusty you feel. And so just whether it's writing, whether it's acting, producing's different because you have a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, staying with it because, like you said, what would you do different? I don't know that I would do a ton different, but I probably would suggest to anybody get involved, like Jeff said, improv classes,
Just
and
anything,
go
like you
try
said.
stand up.
Yeah,
try
any community. Yeah.
and go get yourself on a movie set because then, like, really think about, is this what you want to do?
And when he
it's a
says go
lot.
get yourself on a movie set,
Right.
it sounds, oh, that's easy. If you're crafty, you can get on these things, man. You can get on as a PA, you can get on as an extra. There are ways to maneuver around. You just have to go get it. You can't sit on a couch and wait for the phone and wait for your agent to call or wait for an email or fucking self-submit all day. You need to get up and position yourself and go do things and take the losses and treat them as a learning experience and keep moving forward. I've always, when I went out to LA, I saw my goal, and I always saw it. As long as I'm moving forward toward it, then I'm doing good. And anything that stops in my way, I just sidestep and keep moving. And just sidestep. Anytime I move backward, I know I'm doing something wrong. And within the first 2 years of being there, I noticed that backward step, and I was stuck in a routine of survival mode, of just making ends meet, and surviving as a waiter, doing classes. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I'm not really pursuing. I'm not really going for it. I forgot what I was doing here, and then I made that adjustment, and I fired my manager, which was really cool. I've never done that before. He's a piece of shit, and he was taking all my money that I got on my own.
What was his name for the people?
But
Go ahead.
I actually don't remember his name. I just remember
clam up now.
I can see him in my head. He was a shady piece of shit, dude.
Are there a lot of shady guys in the business?
Yes, and you got to surround yourself with people that aren't, and you got to weed those people out, and that's what me and BJ have worked really hard to do together.
Yeah, we kind of have a rule: if you can't be cool, you can't kick it. And like we live in our own little secret society. Whether you think we're cool or not doesn't really matter. But like the energy has to be, because there are shady people, man.
So many
and I
fucking-
feel like
How do you
I've been-
pluck them out? What are the red flags?
Well, I mean, they're everything from obvious ones to just a gut instinct. When you meet a salesman, a used car salesman, or someone who's using you, or a leech, there are signs that are pretty obvious.
But there's people out there, I call them climbers, but the second that comes out of their mouth, you realize that their line of questioning is, what can I possibly squeeze out of you?
Yeah.
If they become your friend too quick, like your bestie, like there's so many stupid little tactics that a lot of these people do. And that's why people prey on young artists, like in Hollywood, like they don't know anything. They
But
don't-
on the flip side, I talk about it. I talk about it a lot. Is you have to ask for help. You have to ask people for advice. You have to ask. You have to learn how to ask, and that's really hard to do and be genuine at the same time, and not come across as someone who's like trying to get something out of you, because you are. But it's also, I got my first agent because I asked my friend Will, who was another waiter, would you mind putting my stuff in front of your agent? And that's hard to do because
It is.
most actors don't want to give away, their agent.
It's perceived as possible competition. and
Yeah,
you're
so
like,
but
maybe.
there are ways to phrase things and be genuine about it, and you learn that by just learning how to communicate, just socializing. Again, it's all about communication, man.
Yeah.
But that's like in any business, right? Like, just don't suck.
So I had another question. You were talking about like how you're sitting on all these jokes, and I'm interested like how the creative process works when you're creating a joke, and like what you learned at the Comedy Store, seeing people who are in, at the top of their game creating these jokes, and what kind of like the methodology is.
Like the craft of a joke, or how, I mean, God, that's interesting, man, because when you watch it's very different approaches. Like as a writer, you've got multiple characters. As a stand-up, you're crafting a joke in the same way, but it's you playing all the roles.
Yeah, move the mic a little closer.
It's you playing all the roles in stand-up, So the joke, it's funny, like I said, like some of the guys that showed up with a premise that didn't quite land, and then over the period of 6 months to a year, that joke has now become a fully fleshed joke. And any great stand-up, I don't include myself in that, but any great stand-up knows exactly where to pivot if it doesn't get a laugh, and they know exactly where to tag a joke at the end to keep the laughs going. And you can tag a joke as many times as
What do you mean
can get.
tag a joke?
So if you do the setup, you set the premise, and then you set up, and then your punchline, that's the joke, the unexpected part. Then you can add one more piece to it that the audience wasn't expecting. That's a tag.
Give
Like
us
an
an example.
extra.
Give us a joke.
I'm not that fast.
Oh, just
Yeah.
just one. Just make sure you got one.
I don't, man. I don't. Let's talk to a stand-up.
It's the
about
worst
it.
to ask someone. Hey, be funny real quick.
Yeah. Do your stick.
Just do
your bits.
do something.
But then, as far as when Jeff and I worked together, the jokes and premises that we've come up with either didn't live or belong in a movie or TV show we were writing, or because of our ADHD, we'll just blurt out insane premises and build on them, and then those just live in Google Docs. For
Here's
15
the
years.
fucked up thing, man. Is we are built to be YouTubers. We probably would have done really, really well because our brains are outfitted for it. The way we think in
Short
bite
form.
size. It's a never-ending reservoir of ideas that are just constantly being generated on a daily basis. Whether they're good or not is a different story, but we're kind of built for it. But yeah, we needed to figure out a different outlet because we didn't want to just throw it all up online, underdeveloped, worked. So I guess that's why we veered off it. But we do have so much
I mean,
shit. That
so
would've
many
worked.
like vaults and banks of old jokes. We'll even read through some of them from like a decade ago and be like, it's dog shit. But you know what? If we massaged this little thing and we did this with it and we applied it in this scenario, then all of a sudden, it's lived forever and now it's useful.
I did have a song, one song, shameless plug.
Why don't you sing it for him?
I will. Bongs and blunts and beers and beds
Well, that's
and
been really
little
good.
Yeah. So the college song.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. I wrote it during my time at USC. Actually went viral before YouTube, and took down my cousin's website because it got so many hits. But I could have pivoted from it was a comedy, it was a comedic song. I could have, but again, it's just like it was like a gross feeling. I don't know. I just didn't want to be. I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Being a YouTuber. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because eventually it went on to YouTube.
Right. I thought we were still on the crafting jokes. I didn't know.
Can someone who is not okay? How does someone who's not funny become funny?
I don't know that that's possible. Shit. But again, like repetition's everything, right? Like if you went to an improv class and you learned what to do, but more importantly, what not to do, you would improve. It would improve. Because
What would they teach you to do and not to do?
Well, like in improv, and again, I'm not pretending. We know tons of world-class improv friends, man. They're like unbelievably talented. But like the number one rule in improv is yes and. Just say yes and. Never say no. Like, hey, today's my birthday party. No, it's not. That's tomorrow, and the scene's dead. But if you say, oh, yeah, you know what? I forgot to get you a present, but something cool is coming soon. You keep the scene going. And that's the nature of improv, is yes and.
What's the gauge for someone who's good at improv? Like how?
I think to be funny, going back to that real quick though,
That's a tough
the
question.
fastest way to be funny is just to be is authentic to yourself as humanly possible, because then your guard is down and you're just you're speaking freely and something will land and you'll find so it's not like you would be trying to be funny. It's just the more that you're yourself.
You find your voice.
You'll find you'll
Otherwise,
find
you're playing a version of
or
a character.
trying to do something. Yeah, or I learned this skill, so I'm going to try to just be your raw self, even if it's fucking weird.
It will be weird at first because you won't know what that baseline is. But then once it starts to feel authentic, you kind of know it, right? You're just doing it in front of other people.
And
When I worked at the Comedy Store, I answered phones there at first. During the day, soul sucking Comedy Store. What time's the show? A comedian, still a friend, done great things. Al Madrigal. He came in to see when he was on the lineup, so I told him. And I told him I was trying to write some jokes, and I just really didn't know what to do. His best advice he ever gave me for stand-up, he's like, don't write what you think is funny. Just write what you think. And that stuck with me, because I was always looking for the joke, and the joke lives in just the unique way in which a person thinks. And I think it's the quickest way to finding your voice.
observational comedy. Like
Wins
like
every time.
Seinfeld is a great example. It's just how he sees the world, how Larry David sees the world, you know, and it's unapologetic.
He quite literally
know?
writes the way he thinks
Yeah,
in life.
you know,
Which is
some of-
hilarious that
It's,
he's
yeah,
so
it's
funny.
just, you know, and that's like big influences for us and how we try to write and how our movie hopefully will land is like we try to be just normal people in abnormal situations.
We
and
don't like to
circumstances.
joke surf in our writing and acting. We just kind of want our characters to be guys you hang out with.
Yeah.
Not so much like set up, punchline, set up. Because some movies you'll watch in comedies and you feel like you're watching a group of guys do this or a group of ladies. And we want the audience, hopefully, this is the goal, right? Like, hopefully the audience feels like they're doing this stupid shit with us.
Yeah.
That's like at least the grand vision. The hangout kind of movie, you know?
Who would you say is like the best master of his or her craft that you've encountered
In comedy?
Through-
Or,
throughout
oh, man.
Like just in general.
in general?
That's
Yeah, that's a tough
really
question.
tough question.
I've had such a amazing opportunities to work with people, be a front row to people to see it, you know, like and I don't know, man, you just see so many amazing performers. It's
I mean,
hard to
in the stand-up world, you know, you've got guys that aren't even household names. I mean, R.I.P. But like Brody Stevens, it was just unapologetically him at the Comedy Store, and it was like the most raw but undiscovered genius that I'd ever seen. And then other names you may or may not know. Well, you guys probably know Edie Patterson.
Edie is
she's a
Edie's
genius.
one of the best that's doing it.
Like a living comedic genius.
Yeah, and she's getting a lot of praise right now, and it's so, you know, warranted, man. She is a comedic genius.
Yeah.
She's just a good actor all around. But
But
when
you
it
know
comes to
those people
comedy,
that have
man,
created separation and like it's undeniable. what she's
undeniable.
doing,
And
you
she
know?
comes from the groundling world, and
Yeah.
and her friends, Emily Pendergast, who is on the new Jury Duty
Emily's on it. Yeah, she's
show,
brilliant.
like
Jury
brilliant.
Duty's hilarious. Dude.
Yeah,
What a
She
great
plays,
concept.
Amy,
Yeah.
and on that show,
she's got a one of a kind mind.
genius, and her friends Allison Dunbar, they all come from the same world, man, you know, and
Lyric,
so it's just I don't know.
Any significant moments that like snap something into your awareness that like you implement now into your own process? Seeing someone and we're like, wow, that's how they do it. Like,
Ugh, that's a good question.
Man, because you could do this from like an acting standpoint,
Right,
a
I'm trying to
writing
think.
standpoint, and a producing.
any
standpoint.
significant moment like that?
Where it's like, ooh, I'm gonna back pocket that.
You know, to be honest with you, this started me on that journey. But like John Leguizamo, who I mentioned I'd worked with before on this pilot, he taught me a lot about camera awareness, not just like being aware of the lens and stuff, but like, as an actor, you think you're just acting. But then if you're going to be on TV or movies, you have to understand the lens and you have to understand like what millimeter they're using, what shot is this? It informs how big or small. That was like eye-opening to me because it's like, oh, there's a technical craft to this too. I think Tom Cruise talks a lot about it, but there's a technical craft. That opened my eye as an actor. As a writer, what do you think? Because we went through this together.
I never had to learn anything. Everything came to me
you
naturally.
never heard no.
I just figured it out in a way where I didn't need anybody or
You're
anything.
just a savant. Like,
Yeah, and once you win, everyone fucks. So,
Yeah.
I didn't eat shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like anytime I'm ever around any professional, I learn something. I take something away from it, big or small. Sometimes you take away things that are like, ooh, I'm not going to do that.
Never doing
you
that
know,
again,
so it's
yeah.
you learn things that you don't want to do.
But you can learn a lot about just so uncomfortable. I mean, it's dissociative in a way. But watching yourself on camera, you'll just pick out your bad habits, things you don't like, something the audience may never see.
I'm going to
or
watch this,
gather.
and I'm going to fucking hate it.
Oh yeah.
Only because I don't like watching myself.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is well received. and
Because you
people
crucify
enjoy it.
yourself, but like once you can watch yourself in third person and be
Yeah.
like, all right, like
Yeah.
whatever. Like no one does 10 great takes, but you only need one to print.
Yeah.
You know, but if you watch enough of your takes, you're like, I don't like how I'm doing that. I'm too small. I'm too big. I'm
Then
too
it probably has an effect on the next one if you don't have short-term memory.
Being on front of the camera, man, like
100%.
if you're going to be an actor, you just have to surrender to there's a camera on you. I have an inside voice just like everybody. This guy will do literally anything. He will show his butt, balls, and dick if he was asked to do it, and he has.
for money.
You're right. So, and I have, I don't want to take my shirt off and do stuff like that, right? But I've had to do it, and I've had to do it in front of a live studio audience, and it was really fucking hard. But if you're gonna do this, you have to push yourself and then surrender that there's just you get so ice cold about it. I don't know that there's a camera. I don't care anymore. I don't care that you can see the part of my neck that's probably gobbling the whole time like a fucking turkey neck because the angle of the camera. Now I'm thinking about it, like I know it's there.
Sure.
But there's nothing I can do about it, right? So, either do it or you don't do it.
But nobody notices, though. That's what you realize. Nobody cares.
No one fucking
No one
cares.
cares.
Nobody
They're
cares.
like,
They're
no
paying
one's
attention to
seeing what you're
themselves.
seeing.
Nobody cares. And also,
It doesn't matter.
nobody knows what they're doing. That's the biggest secret we've learned in this business is no one really knows what they're doing. Everyone has another person to talk to about, any given situation from all the way to the top to all the way to the bottom. We're all just trying to figure it out
People are
collectively.
paid to have opinions.
Yeah,
So, like,
and some people are more informed than others, for sure. Not saying that, but like
everyone's full of
as
shit.
far as where what's hot right now, what's gonna hit, no one fucking knows, man.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of, again, be authentic to whatever you're putting out and try to retain as much ownership of the IP as possible because you can these days, and that's why we're doing everything independently. We kind of unplugged from the system, came here to start doing our own shit. And then we'll plug back in when we need to distribute because we still need to.
Because the further along you go in the studio system, not like this has been the biggest problem in the world, because it's uptown problems to have studio movies in the pipeline at whatever degree. But every step of the way, there's so many different people that have to greenlight it, gatekeepers. You're just slowly seeing the creativity and your vision just being ripped out of the thing until you don't even recognize your own project.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating from an artist standpoint. So going indie,
Just gives you
do
more
what you want.
opportunity to stick to your vision.
What does indie mean? Like,
Not like independent.
Independent,
Oh,
no
okay.
studio.
Yeah.
obviously, that's pretty intuitive. But
Funds independently, but you just get so much creative control. Now, you don't get this guaranteed distribution that's built into some of these bigger studio deals, but you can find distribution.
You can liken it to any industry. Let's say you're a lawyer, you're working for a big firm, and you want to start want to go independent. You're not going to have that insurance and everything built in like you had that big firm, but you'll be independent. You can go find your own clients. You can build your own. It's the same shit. We're tired of saying other people's words. That's not the way that we speak as act. We have a voice. We have a brand, and we think people are gonna like it. We hope people will like it. But
Can't win 'em all.
we believe in it, and we want to put it out there. And the more control we have over that, the more control we have over what people see. So, again, going back to Zucker, thank God he was like, yeah,
He's got a vision.
I believe in that, and we've been grinding really hard, man, to get to this point with this movie, and hopefully it's just the start because we have a lot of really cool shit that's lined up.
Yeah, I hope people are going to dig the movie. I think it's going to be like a little, cartwheel through, minefield for people. A movie that doesn't take itself seriously, but I think, in my opinion, comedy. I was curious what y'all think, but the comedy world, probably ever since the Me Too movement, it's been diluted.
Yeah.
Like everything plays safe now, man. It's guarded. It's safe.
yeah, I agree.
I won't name any movies, but even the ones that are like, this is the next raunchy comedy, you're like, yeah, but you still just played it so safe.
I agree.
And do you think the public wants, like,
No,
you as a
definitely not.
person, do you want these crazy comedies?
No, I think
don't?
it's like no. I don't want the
watered
filters.
down.
Oh, the watered down. Okay.
And I think that they talk about like everyone like cares about these things, and like I don't really encounter with like many people that are like really wanting to be like so politically correct that it drains the comedy. Like
Yeah.
I think that's almost
Yeah.
like propaganda. Just
But
to,
we're
like,
also
divide
not
people.
saying like we want to be offensive just to be offensive. There are clever ways.
You punch up, not down.
Right.
But like,
So, but it's just allowing yourself to go there, and we offend everyone equally.
that's
everyone,
our mindset, is like offend everyone equally.
Everyone gets their licks, man, and that as long as you're truthful about it and genuine, then I don't think you can. I think you should just be able to say whatever the fuck.
I
you
think
want.
in comedy, nothing should be off limits. Like
For the most-
I
yeah, for the
agree,
most
man.
part.
Comedians.
I don't say for the most part. I say literally
Well,
nothing
I can
should
think
be
of
off
maybe
limits.
one
I
or two
agree.
things that I'm like, I'm probably not going to fuck with that. But yeah, for the most part, we kind of, I mean, you saw one of our things, but we're envelope pushers.
That's the
We
way it should
definitely
be.
do
That's
some
what's
crazy
funny.
shit.
on it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
The audience at the end of the day is the gatekeeper, right? Like that's,
Yeah.
critics. The movie's not critic proof. Like,
Yeah. The best is when you kind of cringe and you're like, oh,
yeah,
did you
there's
really
a-
just say that?
There's a
Like,
particular moment you
hilarious.
might in this movie. You might cringe.
Yeah. There's definitely a moment.
But yeah, and we obviously you could only hope that somebody likes the brand that you put out as a group, and we just want to do it on repeat. Like, just make silly comedies for the sake of making comedies. Not like there's no message, there's no anything. It's just let's laugh again.
Yeah.
At stupid shit, because I think everyone's super sensitive and delicate, and I think it's more of a bonding experience when we all laugh together about this stupid shit. That's when you bond,
Yeah,
not by being
100%.
defensive. So hopefully this movie does that. Like, we're excited to make another one just like it.
Well, I'm fired up to see it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. It's been awesome. If people want to get in touch with you or see more of your stuff, where can they find you?
Nowhere. We are
No way, man.
traceable. We have no footprint.
We're gonna quit and go home now. No. You can go to the Big Smits .com, or is it Big Smits? Or Big Smits?
I wasn't even joking. There's no way to find us right now.
Big Smits.
At Jeff Howard, at just Jeff Howard is my Instagram. But as far as our company,
It's Big Smits
Big
Entertainment.
Smits Entertainment, yeah.
Yeah.
BIGSMITS
Sweet.
Yeah.
ENT.com.
I don't really do social media, but you can just find me at BJ Bales.
Sweet.
BEEJAY.
Can you
hate
just
doing
put
that.
this like below our shit?
Yeah,
Wherever
absolutely.
my hand is in post.
Yep, we'll put it right
That's
there.
the handle. Yeah.
Any bars you guys like to hang out at that we can, maybe people can find you there?
I'm a father to an 8-month-old baby and a 10-year-old. The only bars I'm having are Snickers.
Yeah, I get shit faced every night. So,
gets fucked.
then-
This
no,
guy-
I don't drink either, so like we don't really go to bars too much.
Okay.
Not at all, man.
So you're never gonna find them. You're never
Never
gonna see
gonna-
them. But
You'll
watch
never
the
see
movie.
us. You'll never find us.
This is gonna be the last thing we ever do.
Mic drop.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean,
But look for Suburban Psycho.
look for Suburban Psycho. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out hopefully in the fall. That's what I want to say.
Should we start going to bar? Like, what bars should we start going?
I don't drink either, so I couldn't
Well,
tell you.
fuck, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Come to our networking events at the Merchant.
at the Merchant. Come down
That's
to
a
the
deal.
Merchant.
I can do
Yeah.
that, man. I already heard about the events.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate you having us on, man.
Yeah, man, this is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's sick.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, man.